I'd like to just summarize in saying before I introduce Mayor Verga to you is watch what's happening in the 400th celebration for the rest of the year. Go on www.gloucesterma400.org and see all the great events that are happening. We're proud of our city. We're proud of the 400th. We're proud of our fishing heritage. I'm proud of the AVP. And at this point, I'm proud of our mayor, and he'd like to address all of you and have a couple of words. Mayor Verga.
There's really not much left to say, so thank you. No, but this has been, I remember as a little kid for the 350th, like 5 years old, thinking it would be great to be around for the next celebration. Never thought I'd be mayor for that. So here we are on our 400th anniversary, 400 plus. This is the first draft of the hat, no plus on it. But we're recognizing those who came before, the Native Americans who were here for 10,000 years before the settlers started coming. So been a lot of great things since New Year's Eve last year. Going to be a lot of great things heading to a New Year's Eve this year. So don't miss any of this. Al gave you the website. Check out all the goings on for the 400th. I'm really happy to be here to introduce the play. The Ansquam Village players do a great job. And are we going to do a 3 count again?
We are. I'll count this time, and Terry Sands will be coming out. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. So,
enjoy the show.
Welcome to the 2023 Ansquam Village Players presentation of Gloucester Story. Let me tell you a little bit about the play that you're about to see tonight. It was written in 1951 or 52 by a plumber who lived in Gloucester, but he had a lot of connections with the sea and with fishermen. And the play got the Russell Krauss Award that year for Best Community Play. And we have made some changes to the show. It was written as a straight play, no music. And the Ansquam Village Players has added music to the show tonight. And the music comes from a number of different sources. First of all, we have some sea shanties in it. Many of you probably know Peter Souza, who has a sea shanty group called Three Sheets to the Wind. And some of our songs come from that. Some of our songs come from a musician who worked on the adventure several summers ago, and he wrote 3 or 4 songs, and we've incorporated those into the show. He didn't even know the script, and the music fits right in. And he's going to be playing, his name is Corey Rand, he is going to be playing one of his songs for you for the opening of the show. We also have a song called Heartbeat from the Sea that Daisy Nell, many of you know from Gloucester, wrote. She was here and watched the show last night. And we also took a song from Captain Courageous that Spencer Tracy sang in that movie. So we've tried to incorporate a lot of sea music into the show. So you all see what an incredible site this is. We are so indebted to Maritime Gloucester for letting us use this site right on Gloucester Harbor. And we're really thankful to the weather gods. Our opening night, they weren't very nice to us, so we weren't able to have it here. But the last 2 nights, and then tonight's our closing night, and we're so happy that we're able to be here on the harbor. It's an incredible, incredible site that you can't. No picture could make it up. No background in the theater could ever do this justice. So we are very, very excited about that. And I also want to thank, we have our presenting sponsor, Andre Robert of Eagle Invokers. And then we also have 2 other sponsors, Cape Ann Savings Bank and Seashore Comfort Solutions. So we're very thankful to them for supporting us in this venture we're doing. It's really a historic moment for the AVP and for Gloucester. We are so proud to be a part of the 400th anniversary of the celebration for the 400th anniversary of the city. So welcome, and hope you enjoy the show tonight.
Fresh catch and ice and the seagulls roam free. I know that's when the sea breeze will call me, and somewhere out there my ship will be. Had I gotten caught so dry and hard from the great banks of fishers are we. Sometimes at night the rigging be calling, lost stories home for peaceful sleep. And I've seen wind and waves, and I've known pouring rain, and somewhere out there my ship will be. A big breach sail and the fog may come rolling. Better yet with 4 hours sleep. Fish your falls with Atlantic rollers, or you'll find yourself way down in deep. And I've seen wind and waves, and I've known pouring rain, and somewhere out there my ship will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the formative period of this country's rise to its present high place, the large maritime cities of Massachusetts devoted their energies to the rich clipper ship trade and the equally rewarding occupation of whaling. Gloucester chose fishing as its major contribution. As the industry grew, there were 3 outstanding developments which became world famous. One of these was the schooner. The need for speed, maneuverability, and seaworthiness made it mandatory to improve upon the slow, clumsy pinnaces and shallops used in the early years of fishing. From the time the first schooner slid down the ways of the shipyard at Eastern Point in 1713, its place was assured among the fast-sailing vessels. The highest accolade that could be conferred on a schooner was to be called fast and able. Probably the acme in speed was reached in the last years of its evolution. In 1922, the schooner Puritan was built in Essex, and during its short life was often logged at 15 knots and averaged more than 14 knots for long passages. Another of these developments is the dory. Up to the time of its invention of the trawl, bank fishing had been done by handling from the vessel's deck, but with its advent, it became necessary for the crew to leave the vessel in small rowboats to set and underrun this new device. In 1793, Simon Lowell of Amesbury had designed and built what he called a dory. It was waiting to be tried out when the need for it arose. It proved to be the most seaworthy small boat ever devised by man. Although only 16 feet overall, with a 14-foot flat bottom, it could hold close to 2 tons of fish, in addition to its 2-man crew without swamping, and could be nested on a vessel's deck so that several took no more space than one. It answered all of the requirements of Gloucester trawlers, and after they made its value known, it was adopted by all the world's deep-sea fishing fleets. The last and most important of this trio is the people who made the others possible.
Youth were attracted to Gloucester by the magnetism of the sea from foreign countries, especially Canada, and from various parts of the United States to augment the native manpower. They became a breed apart. The navigational feats of the captains by Dead Reckoning were recognized throughout the 7 seas. The fortitude, stamina, and determination of the fishermen will never be excelled. Some of their deeds are legendary. Without modern equipment such as sonar, radar, and radio, the blinding fogs, the sudden squalls, and the unpredicted gales of the North Atlantic made bank fishing a most hazardous calling. During one 5-year period, 100 men were lost from dories alone. These men were extremely superstitious. Misfortune followed the breaking of taboos so often that the superstitions were implicitly believed and taken for granted. The validity of a dream as an omen of disaster was one of their strongest convictions. Gloucester Story takes you back, in fancy, to the turn of the century, when the fishing industry was at the height of its development. Under sail, when Gloucester was the world's leading fishing port. Back when men, not machines, were the principal means of catching fish. The storyline, which involves a firm of vessel owners, fishermen, and a boy-girl romance, is entirely fictional. But the plot motivations, dealing with the folklore, are all factual. Its object is to show a picture of this era, forever gone, that typifies the heritage of the sea, which is so uniquely Gloucester's, and how some of these people lived, and how some of them died. We have 3 courses to help us tell the story. The first is the fisherman's course. The brave men who put their lives on the front line every day as they go off to sea. The second is the fisherman's wives course. These women watch their husbands and sons go off to sea, patiently waiting for their return. And finally, the third is the children's course. The representatives of the young families who watch their fathers go off to sea, not knowing if they will return. Pay close attention to the play. Several of the characters have been devastated by lives lost at sea.
There's a lighthouse looking out to sea, the eye of old Cape Man, searching for the sailors coming homeward to the land. Oh, Cape Man, by the shore and by the lea, from the woodlands to the water, just a heartbeat from the sea.
Cape Ann reaches out to sea with arms a shoreline bold, embracing all within her, lead her harbors to enfold. The soul of old Cape Ann comes up from deep within her core, where rocky veins of granite grains go tumbling to the shore.
Oh, Cape Ann, by the shore and by the lea, from the woodlands to the water, just a heartbeat from the sea. Oh, Cape Ann, by the shore and by the lea, from the woodlands to the water, just a heartbeat from the sea. From the woodlands to the water, just a heartbeat from the sea.
Come home.
to now, Seth? Out on the Grand Banks again? All your dories out?
I can still dream, can't I? And I'm reconciled to it, but I can't help picturing myself at the wheel of my staunch vessel, driving to market in a 40-knot breeze with the lee rail underwater chalk up to the cabin hatch. And I can picture myself as skipper, too.
Well, for a frustrated skipper, you do make a good office manager. Whether or not you would have made a good skipper is something you'll never know now.
No, John, I'll never understand if I was able enough to stand up to that kind of a life.
It's practical experience. It's the only way a man can find out if he has the instinct of a homing pigeon, the finesse of a diplomat, and the personality to command a crew of rugged individuals.
Yeah,
without the authority of discipline.
Yeah, if I had my life to live over again, though, I'd get that experience, and I wouldn't let anything stop me. How did you want to fill that Trinidad salt cod order?
Oh, last time we mixed it with 2 of large and 1 of small, and it was perfectly satisfactory. So let's do the same with this.
Better get them started on it right away, hadn't I? They're almost caught up with what they had.
I would. And have them start the Baltimore one next.
Yes, that one should be taken care of, too.
Good morning, Mr. Bates.
Morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Mr. Munson.
Good morning, Deborah. This is a beautiful spring morning, isn't it?
It's lovely, Mr. Munson.
I'll have a letter for you to take in a little while. I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
And Seth, have my son Charlie Fred get the cook whatever he needs aboard the Artemisia right away.
I had it in mind, John.
Oh, Mr. Bates, I spoke to those same 2 robins I told you about again this morning.
That's so. Afraid I don't know many robins, Debbie.
Well, you should really get acquainted. They're loads of fun to talk to.
Now, what would people say if they saw me talking to a robin? Some of them have their doubts about me now.
You don't really mean that, Mr. Bates.
Well, sometimes I wonder. Did you finish that letter to the Grayson Company?
Yesterday afternoon, and Mr. Munson approved of it.
Fine. Be sure it gets in the rack before the mailman comes.
I'll attend to it.
Morning, Seth.
Morning, Nate.
Good morning, Debbie. How's the prettiest girl in town this morning?
Good morning, Captain Nate. I'm sure I wouldn't know the health of the prettiest girl in town.
Well, who would know if you wouldn't? I think you might be fishing for some compliments. Look at you, you're blushing.
I don't believe it. After being around you soft-soaping skippers a while, a girl gets over blushing pretty fast.
Ah, get off your nonsense. Look at you, your face is red as a beet.
You.
Why do you leave the girls alone, Nadie? You know they're all crazy about you, and all you love in the world is that boat of yours.
Well, Seth, a good boat. It's just as beautiful to look at as a pretty woman. I like to look at a boat the same. But I must say, there is nothing prettier. And the Artemisia, under a full sail, I'll tell you, she is something to look at.
Well, you may have a point there, Nate. A pretty girl can outgrow being pretty sometimes, but a good boat never does, as long as she's above water.
You 2 ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Comparing a girl to a smelly fishing vessel?
You may have a point there too, Debbie. Yes, I have to admit, a girl smells better than a boat.
Well, you know, Seth, if we could invent a way to change billet water into perfumery, she wouldn't have a leg to stand on.
And you will never be able to do that as long as you carry fish in them.
I hereby declare this debate a draw.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. Seth, how about we get that grub down to cooking, so he can start his bacon? I gotta keep him happy. He's the best cook in the whole fleet.
Getting provisions aboard the Artemisia was the first thing I was going to have to do when Charlie Fred comes. I don't know what's keeping him. He's always here before this.
What's the matter with that fellow of yours, Debbie? Did you keep him out late last night, a court?
No, it was not his night to call.
Ah, probably with his other girl last night.
Very likely.
I heard those last remarks and I demand an apology. I'll have you know I spent all of last night sitting in charge for Cape North, the Western Bank, and the Quarrow.
Oh, and I bet you think you could sail right through the middle of any of them, blindfolded.
Well, maybe not blindfolded. I'd have to take a look at the compass every once in a while.
You don't even know your north from your south. Let me hear you box the compass.
All right. North, north-northeast, east-northeast, eastern by northeast, northeast, northeast.
That's enough. You can box the compass. But you do it like a schoolboy.
Would you want me to do it backwards?
No, you never do nothing against the sun. That's bad luck.
And I can shoot the sun too. Old Captain Stanley, who used to go square rigging, showed me how. But don't think I'm bragging or anything. I want to learn dead reckoning. Pete Peteson told me when he came back with a trip with you that he didn't see the sun or stars for 3 days or 3 nights and came up right up on deck to hear you say, "Hard to starboard!" with a bowsprit pointing right over at Eastern Port Light. Now that's the kind of navigating I want to learn.
Well, it's good to know both.
I hate to interrupt this nautical discourse, Charlie Fred, but both Nate and your father are after me to get the grub aboard Artemisia.
Ah, way ahead of you on that one. I was down before the gulls earlier this morning, and even Waldo was up early enough to lend a hand. Cookie's got his bread all set to rise with 2 sheets of gingerbread in the oven.
Smart boy.
Oh, you don't have to be smart to do that. You just have to get up early enough to do what you have to. And besides, I get a lot of my tips from fishing from Cookie.
If you don't be a little careful, you'll be the best fisherman in Gloucester that's never been to sea. Now, what was I going to do? I had something on my mind. Oh, yes, John wanted me to get the Trinidad order started. Nate, why don't you talk about the stores for with Charlie Fred?
Sure thing. All right, navigator. Let's get on the course.
You may come in now, Deborah.
Yes, sir?
Morning, Nate.
Morning, John.
Stop in before you leave. I just got a short letter. Won't take too long. Small matter for you to straighten out.
Sure thing, John.
Alrighty, so, as you can see here, with everything with the cross on it has been brought and stored below. And man, is that shack locker full!
Let me take a look. We're gonna need more tea. All of my guys are tea drinkers. I can't be running out of tea if we hit bad weather.
Fair enough.
5 pounds more tea.
Alrighty. 5 more pounds of tea it is.
Okay. All right then. Everything else looks... You know, we can always eat fish if we have to. Boys don't like to eat too much fish, but it's better than going hungry. And what about that foghorn? Will that be ready?
No, but Lothar promised me they would have it all set before you set sail.
You make sure it's here on time.
Will do. And say, when are you going to give me a sight? I've got to get going to sea pretty soon. I've got my suitcase all packed away. A nice black one.
You'll never bring a suitcase on my vessel, especially a black one.
Relax, relax. I was only getting you on a line. I know it brings bad luck aboard a boat.
Oh, you're getting too big for your boots. You think you know what's bad luck on a boat? Let me hear what you know.
All right. An umbrella.
Yeah.
Colored mittens.
Yeah.
And a woman's bad luck aboard a boat, too.
Mm-hmm.
Opening the crosshatch upside down.
Yeah.
Coiling the rope against the sun. And never sail on a Friday.
Well, not bad for a land-going sailor. I didn't think you'd know enough to spit, but you missed some of the worst ones. You take a whistling. Whistling always brings a gale. Paul Jacobs had a whistler on board in '98, and it brought the Portland blow.
That was the storm where some of our vessels broke adrift right over onto Rocky Neck Bar.
And a jinx is the worst of all. If I had a jinx on my boat, I'd throw it right over the side.
You wouldn't do that. You know you wouldn't. You just set them ashore.
I don't know, maybe I would. I'm a tough man on a boat.
Oh, you just think you are. Now take Paul Jacobs. He's a hard man, and he drives everybody, including himself. He takes a lot of chances. But you're a driver, but you don't take any unnecessary chances with either you or your crew. Captain Billy's the same way too, yes. With him, he brings out men who only bring out the best within themselves. And if he has someone who doesn't pull their weight, he'll set them ashore and find someone else who does. He gets a lot of his men that way. Yes, I know all about you Highliners skippers.
Well, you know too much. Oh, and another thing, don't ever mention the word pig on a vessel. Some type of misery is bound to happen.
Well, surely there must be something that brings good luck aboard a vessel.
Well, music is lucky, accordion's good, but a fiddle's better. Fiddle on board means you're gonna catch a lot of fish. The broom will be on the cross trees when you're coming around Eastern Point, telling everyone you unloaded to the scuppers.
Well, I'm glad something brings good luck aboard a boat.
Oh, pea soup's good too. Pea soup always brings a breeze and a flat calm. Cook always makes it whenever we need a little bit of wind. It won't bring a gale, just a good, stiff breeze.
Surely you don't believe all of that stuff, do you, Captain?
It's not what you believe or don't believe, Charlie Fred. It's making sure you're not the one that brings shoal water under your lee rail in a high gale.
Well, better to be safe than sorry, I suppose. And I meant it when I said that I was all ready to go to sea. I got my oilskins, I got my shoal, and my bedroll all ready to go.
Oh, I guess you mean business.
Well, I'd rather sail with you than anybody. And if not, I'll go to anybody who will give me a sight. Even if I have to go up to the Pottigers up in Boston to go and do it. I'm going to sea one way or another.
He's not really going fishing. He's only fooling.
Oh, your best girl says you're not going. And I bet your mother and father had something to say about it too.
I've got my mother and father pretty well talked into it.
Can you come in now, Nate?
Yeah, sure thing, John.
Seems to be discrepancy in the new bill for the trawls. I want to get it worked out while you're still here.
Sure, I'll be right there, John. Let's take one more look at this. Now, don't forget about the 5T. 5 pounds. Everything else looks pretty shipshape. But if I were you, I'd get to work pretty hard on Debbie here, or you're going to be a land-loving sailor for your whole life.
Gosh, Debbie, you shouldn't have said that in front of Nate. Now he'll think you don't want me to go fishing.
And what else would I want him to think?
What's the matter with you all of a sudden? You never had a problem with me wanting to go to sea before.
Well, I didn't think you would actually go through with it. And besides, I didn't think your parents would agree to it. I still don't think they will when it comes down to it.
Well, let me. I'm old enough to lead my own life and be my own boss. Now, I've never wanted to do anything against my parents' wishes, and I've done what they wanted me to up until this point. But ever since I was old enough to be my own boss, I've always wanted to go to sea. I'm gonna be 21 my next birthday, and I've been a sissy long enough. I don't want to live the life my father lives. I'd go balmy.
Your father is one of Gloucester's leading citizens, and there's no reason why you can't be the same someday.
Now, Debbie, my father is everything you say he is. But you know what he does aside from coming here to the office? He goes to church on Sunday, and he plays cribbage with my mother a few nights a week, and he reads poetry at night. Now, what kind of life is that for a fella like me?
It's a good life, and it's a safe one.
Eh.
Why don't you take up some hobby, say, like, painting? Those summer border artists do it.
But that's as exciting as a spelling bee. I want action, and I'll get it going to sea.
Don't forget that my father was lost at sea, and I know what my mother went through every trip he made. He was a wonderful man, and when he was lost out there, it was awful thinking about him all alone, without even a proper burial.
Well, of course that's not going to happen to me.
And why not? You're just flesh and blood like everyone else.
I can feel it in my bones. And besides, drowning's not a bad way to go anyway. Butch Black told us about it when we rolled him over the barrel to get the water out of him. He said it wasn't that bad at all.
Do you really think it's okay to be dead as long as it's done in an easy way?
Well, you've got to be living your life like it's going to be your last. You might fall down the stairs and break your neck, or you might even get struck by lightning.
Okay, but that time seems to come for Gloucester fishermen sooner than it does for men in any other profession. I mean, in one gale, we lost 125 men out of this little port.
But with Captain 8, it's different. He's never lost a man. He's been through some pretty bad storms, even the Portland gale.
Well, that's all the more reason he'll lose some. You know as good as I do that no skipper can leave Gloucester Harbor for any period of time without losing some men.
There's no point in trying to argue. But there is one thing I can do.
Charlie Fred Munson. I have never heard of such a thing. Kissing a woman in the office? What if someone had seen you?
Oh, what of it? Everybody already knows we're going to be married someday.
It's improper.
Don't worry. I don't think anybody saw it. Seriously, I don't think anybody saw it at all. I wouldn't worry too much.
What's all the commotion?
Don't you dare tell him.
She's got her dander up because I want to go to sea.
Well, I'll tell you, Debbie, you better let him go. Otherwise, he might grow up to be an old fuddy-duddy like me. That wouldn't be so good now, would it?
You see? That's what happens to a man who stays ashore.
I was crazy about going to sea as a young lad, but I wasn't allowed to go. Always regretted that I didn't go regardless, and at least find out if I was fitted for it or not.
And that's the way I feel about it, Seth. Now, Debbie, how does a flush learn if he's got what it takes if he doesn't give it a try?
Mr. Bates, the mailman is almost due, and I'd like to get this on the rack while you're still here.
All right, Debbie, go ahead.
Now, Debbie, why don't you listen to reason?
Hello there, Charlie Fred.
Hey, Frenchie.
Ooh, awful hurry. Hello, Mr. Bates.
Hello, French. You owe the company $2 now.
I would very much like to owe this company $5 more.
$5? You think this company is made of money? What would you do with $5?
My hungry children.
You're not even married.
I did not say I was married.
No, that's right, you didn't. Why give me that song and dance when I know all along what you want it for? You think I can take chances with the company's money so that you can buy liquor? What if you should have a broker trip? Come back with no fish.
Heck would I have a broke set with Captain Nate. He's highline among all the fleet. Dory plug in Frenchie, highline among all the Dory fleet.
Well, saying you should washed overboard. You can't even swim.
Swim? What good would swim do? Eastern point to western bank, 500 miles.
I suppose you're right. You couldn't do that without a compass, anyway. I'll tell you what I'll do. Seeing as how you and your dory mate are always up there with the highliners, I'm going to give you $2. But it's a poor business. Don't you know the Gloucester fisherman is the worst insurance risk there is?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bates.
But don't tell anybody else. I don't want to have every Tom, Dick, and Harry running in here trying to draw money ahead.
I don't tell somebody. I buy for you a drink.
I don't drink much.
Oh, you should. It makes you forget all the problems on the shore.
Probably right.
Next time I ask you for 10, you give me 5?
No.
I bet you do it. It's good to be a drunken sailor.
What will you do with a drunken sailor? What will you do with a drunken sailor? What will you do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in a long boat till he's sober. Put him in a long boat till he's sober. Put him in a long boat till he's sober. Early in the morning. That's what you do with a drunken sailor. That's what you do with a drunken sailor. That's what you do with a drunken sailor. Early in the morning. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning.
There's a new verse to sing about a dory fisherman.
What will we do with the dory fisherman? What will we do with the dory fisherman? What will we do with the dory fisherman on the Artemisia? Bait the hooks and put him in the trawl tub. Bait the hooks and put him in the trawl tub. Bait the hooks and put him in the trawl tub on the Artemisia. Haul up the fish and put him in the dory. Haul up the fish and put him in the dory. Haul up the fish and put him in the dory on the Artemisia. Take it to the market and make some money. Take it to the market and make some money. Take it to the market and make some money on the Artemisia.
See, I told you it was fun to be a drunken sailor.
What's the matter, Nate? You think that boat of yours will disappear if you don't keep an evil eye on her?
What are you, jealous?
Huh, jealous of an old boat. Well, I don't know. Maybe I am.
You are pretty well wrapped up in that boat, aren't you, Nate?
I haven't had much to interest me since Hattie died. I don't know what I'd do if I lost the Artemisia. I guess I'd be under some shoal water for a spell.
Well, when a man loses his wife, it's good to have something to turn to, but do you think it's so healthy to be attached to a vessel?
I like it, John.
Did you ever consider marrying again?
No. No woman could ever replace Hattie. If I did marry again, it would just be to get a housekeeper that couldn't jump ship so easy.
Well, that wouldn't exactly be fair to the woman.
It would be the same if I lost the Artemisia. I'd never look at another vessel the same way. She's done everything I've ever asked her to do. Fair weather or foul, she is fast and able. And look at the record she's made for me. Highland skipper, 3 years hand running, I tell you. She is the best thing that ever came down the waves at the Essex yards.
Well, there are some who think it's the skipper who makes the boat.
Don't you believe it? A woman, the vessel is like a woman. Some of them are cranky and finicky and stubborn. Some you have to coax and coddle and drive. And others have a good disposition, like the Artemisia. How about you sell me your third interest in her?
Well, my third interest has been a very profitable investment.
I should have known you were going to hold out for a big price, you old skinflint.
I'm a businessman, and evidently there isn't as much sentiment in business as there is in fishing. But I get as much fun from a business deal as you do when you go out fishing and making a big killing.
Well, how about you think about how much you can squeeze out of me, and we'll talk about it when I get back from this trip.
All right, then. Whatever you want. Oh, do you have another minute? Something else I'd like to talk to you about.
Sure, John, I got time.
It's about Charlie Fred. He wants to go fishing.
I should have known. He's been after me for a sight since the day he could walk.
But I don't want him to follow the sea. I've educated him his whole life to take over the business when I retire.
His mother feels the same way?
That's the peculiar part of it. She thinks he should just go do whatever he wants. She's always spoiled him.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if it was anything but fishing.
I wouldn't expect you to have anything against fishing.
Well, I don't have anything against fishing as such, but to have my own son, you should understand my position.
Well, I understand all right. You think it's not good enough for him? Do you think a fisherman is someone you can cheat and look down on?
I hope you're not insinuating
I'm telling you. I don't have to beat around no bush with you. You saltfish nabobs sit on your asses in your offices and your big houses and your God mighty heirs. You wouldn't have half that if you made it honest.
I don't cheat anybody, Nate.
No, maybe not you. But what about that foreman of yours? Huh? The one that puts a little extra weight on that scale anyone turns their back on him when he's weighing fish. Huh? If he didn't do that, you'd fire him. You'd get someone that would. And who buys the liquor that he gives to all of those dumb skippers? Gets them so drunk they can't even keep their tallies straight.
Quiet! I told you there isn't much sentiment in business.
Business. Well, if Charlie Fred goes fishing, he'll know something else better than that type of business. And he'll sleep good nights, too.
Now, Nate, perhaps I am a snob. Perhaps I do believe that fishermen do not fall very high on the social scale. But I've always admired your type of fisherman.
You can't slip nothing over on me.
I've always admired the courage it takes to face those awful storms in the Atlantic. I know I couldn't do it myself. I mean, what is it that draws a man to that kind of life?
I don't know. Never thought about it. All I know is when I was a boy, I thought a Highland skipper was the greatest man in the world, and I wanted to be one more than President of the United States.
It's hero worship. You've saved a few lives yourself.
I ain't no hero. I've had my own saved. It's all in a day's work. But what boy wouldn't want to be behind the wheel of a vessel in a spanking breeze?
I mean, I can see how the glamour of sail might appeal to a boy, and maybe that's what attracts Charlie Fred. But I just can't see him standing up to that rugged life, though. He's been pampered too much.
It ain't what he's used to. But you can't tell a thing about it. The ones ashore can't take it. They're the toughest sometimes. It wouldn't strike me if that boy made top hand.
Well, I certainly hope not. But his mother and I have decided to let him take a trip.
Well, that's sensible. That way, if he can't make it, he can just forget it.
Just so. But we'd like to have him go with you.
I can't take him this trip. I got a full crew. I'll take him the first chance I get.
Oh, whenever you can. We just know he'd be safe in your hands.
The only hands anyone's safe in on the sea of gods.
We realize that. But it's good to know you'd be along to help.
There's only one small problem with that. If something happened to the boy, God wouldn't be around to take the blame.
Oh.
And I might.
We'd understand.
I don't intend to lose a man off the Artemisia, if I can help it. And I'll take care of him and watch over him, whether it's Charlie Fred Munson or French Boudreau.
That is as it should be.
It ain't exactly true. You know, I've always wanted a boy like Charlie Fred. He's the only thing you got that I've ever envied you for. Suppose I'd keep a closer eye on him. I don't understand how a psalm-singing sissy like you could sire a boy like him. I'll never understand it. Tell me, did you have some help?
You shouldn't joke like that, Nate. But he is an exceptional boy for these hectic times. The way some of them carry on with the girls is a caution. And some of them smoke cigarettes, too. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them end up to be cigarette fiends like Everett Haskins and smoke 15 to 20 a day.
He's on an even keel. I wouldn't go in a dory with him, though.
Oh, of course not.
But what I would do is I'd throw him in a dory with one of my top hands and show him all the ropes.
Well, that's all we can expect. Don't misunderstand. I sure hope he won't like it.
It's pretty miserable out there this time of year. It's squally, there's fog, and it's cold as hell yet.
Yeah?
Say, what happens if he actually likes it?
Well, I'd have to like it too. I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't stand in his way.
Well, I'll be damned.
Just so. And I'll confess, I'd probably admire him just for being able to stand up to all that.
Maybe I'll take back some of the things I said about you.
No hard feelings?
No hard feelings.
I got that gear bill fixed up, John.
Seth, we've decided to let Charlie Fred take a trip with Nate.
Good. That's awful good. Now I don't have to do any more scheming.
What do you mean scheming?
I've been trying to figure out a way for him to get to go for a long time. Wasn't able to find my way around it, though.
You old scallywag.
Why don't you go along as his dory mate?
Huh, good idea. The fish would probably catch us.
I'm gonna take him probably next trip. And, oh, you can go as a passenger.
You better mean it, because I'll go. Unless Charlie Fred would think you're taking me to look after him.
He wouldn't think that.
Well, then I'm practically out on the banks now. Say, can I have a job of some kind, like a cabin boy? I'd like to have sort of work my passage.
You can be captain of the sink. You'll be Cookie's helper.
Who'll be Cookie's helper?
Hey, I'm going with Nate next trip. I've been waiting 50 years to go, and now I'm going. So, keep your courage and you'll be able to go yourself someday.
Well, I hope I don't have to wait quite as long as you did.
Well, don't keep him guessing.
Charlie Fred, Nate has decided to take you along too.
Ah, I see. You're gonna be my nursemaid, Seth.
I was afraid you'd think that, so I'll stay ashore.
Don't be silly. Charlie Fred, I'd take you this trip, but I got a full crew.
You mean I'm going as a hand?
I wouldn't take you any other way.
I take it all back, Seth. You could have nursemaid me in a dory if you wanted to. Oh, this is great. I feel like celebrating. I gotta tell Deb. Wait, no, she's not gonna like this. Suppose I ought to keep it to myself.
You can tell me sometime, and I'll be duly impressed.
And you can hint to me that you're going along with it, and we can talk about how lucky we are.
Let me get some of the crew to help. Come on, boys!
My watch has begun at the setting of the sun. There's nothing between me and the deep blue sea. Except the stars on high to navigate by, and a tall ship with its sails unfurled.
The captain, that is me, is as salty as the sea. My hands run the rigging with ease. When the wind comes up, I says, look up. The spray will knock you to your knees. I whistled one morn and two by forlorn. The wind was a-howling aloft. Oh, pleasant and free, a mistress is she, the only one who could sing so soft.
And with her gusts we had to bust our asses to get back to port. We rode those strange great distance we made to where our ship she makes burn. My watch has begun at the setting of the sun. There's nothing between me and the deep blue sea, except the stars on high to navigate by, and a tall ship with the sails unfurled.
Well, Nate, looks like we made two boys very happy.
Yeah.
So perhaps we can go about our business. You'll stop in the morning before you sail.
Sure thing, John.
And thanks for everything.
Don't mention it. Well, Charlie Fred, looks like you finally got your chance. You gotta be able to keep your end up.
Well, why not?
Well, there's a small thing. Baiting, setting, under rigging, 5 or 6 miles of trawl every day. That's about 8,000 hooks. And at night, You dress down, Ketch. You won't get nothing for sleep for 3 or 4 days running. And you won't wash in anything but salt water from the time we leave till the time we get back.
Well, the rest of the crew do it, don't they?
Now they do it as well.
Well, then I can too.
That seems to settle that, Nate.
Time will tell.
I'll be rowing around the port for 3 to 4 days and staying up all night just to see that I can do it.
He'll do just that, too. And I suppose I had to practice scrubbing pans.
Well, the two of you won't think it's such a joke when I got you out on the shoals driving you round the clock.
Gosh, Seth, I can't believe we have to wait an entire month for this.
I think I can do it. I've been waiting 50 years to go, and another month won't matter very much.
Man, I haven't felt this good since the last time I left school and knew I didn't have to go back again. I feel like celebrating, Seth.
Me too. I think I've got it now. I can do this with him. Oh, we're caught.
Some strange things are happening in this office today.
She must think we've lost our senses completely.
It's not as bad as you think, Deb. We're not really loony.
I'm afraid she'll never believe us. I've never... the thing I was warned by, it's never been done in this office before. Not really very dignified when you stop to think about it.
We were only just celebrating, Deb.
I'm not the least bit interested.
That's a bad sign, Charlie Fred. When a woman takes that attitude, there's breakers ahead.
Yeah, you're right. I suppose I ought to tell her. It's all set for Nate next trip for Seth and I to go. Him as a cabin boy and me as a hand.
I'm still not interested.
I shouldn't have told her that.
You'd have to tell her sometime.
Hey, it's my night to call. I'll come around the usual time.
I'm not expecting you tonight.
Now, Debbie, you can't mean that.
You don't seem to care the least bit about my feelings or wishes.
Of course I do. I'll come around the usual time and I'm certain we can straighten everything out.
I'm not expecting you tonight, and if you do show up, I shall certainly not be home.
Underration, Charlie Fred. She's really mad at you.
It's just one darn thing after another. I've got my mother and father pretty well talked into it, and now she's acting up. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm jinxed. You've been around a long time, Seth. How in the deuce does a fellow learn how to talk to women anyhow?
Jeannie Craney, I don't know. You have to ask someone older than I am. Or you can buy her a house down on the harbor.
No?
Hi, I'm Andre Roper with Excellent Brokers, and I'd love to help you buy a house. And you too.
I'll dress in the clothes of a young cabin boy, and when we are out on the dark rolling ocean, I will be near you, my heart and my joy. Talk not of leaving me here, my own lovely Johnny. Talk not of leaving me here alone on the shore, for you know very well your long journey will grieve me. I will have you at home when the wild billows roll.
Aboard the Artemisia. Hey, Cookie!
Okay, hey, who's making all this noise up here? I might have known it'd be you, Charlie Fred, of course.
I had to make sure it worked, didn't I? And I'll tell you this, she can make a hell of a lot more noise than I can.
Well, yeah, but that needs your help to make noise. You make all your noise just by yourself.
Yeah, some know-nothing of a Teamster left us in the dunnage up in the office. Told Debbie it belonged to the Artemisia.
Huh. Well, I'll heave it aboard, and if no one claims it, I'll just put it back on the wharf when we cast off. What's this I hear about you coming with us next trip?
Nate tell you?
Yeah. Told me to get a whole new shack locker full of grub just for you to eat.
Now I know you're getting me on a line. But gee, it'll be great being shipmates with you, Cookie.
Why? So as I can fatten you up?
That'll be good too, but it'll mainly be to help me out. I'll be kind of green.
Ah, no, you aren't hardly green at all. I mean, you already know all of your knots and your sheets.
It's when I get out into a dory that it bothers me.
Well, okay, I think once you go out once, you'll learn all you need to know, and then you'll be able to keep up with the rest of them.
Well, I'll give it a hard try. All the crew aboard yet?
Yeah, about half of them. They're coming on one by one.
Oh, I see. The Artemisia never did have a broker, did she?
Nope, never did. Between you and me, some say that Nate's pushing his luck with that, but I don't think so. I mean, I could not ask for a better berth. I've sailed with Nate on the Artemisia ever since he built her, and I've sailed with real killers like Tom Bolin and Paul Jacobs, so.
Gee, I wish I was able to say that.
Well, fancy seeing you here, Charlie Fred.
Hey, Myron. Maybe I could get a sight if I can play the fiddle.
You need to know more than how to blow a fiddle to get a sight with Nate. Besides, lucky vessel like the Artemisia don't need no fiddle to bring the fish.
Yeah, but it's lucky to have one along just the same.
Press us lower highline. Lucky vessel, lucky fiddle.
Well, you might need all the luck you can get. You never know what might surprise you out there.
I get surprised at nothing no more. You want to know the cure to never get surprised, so you'll never be surprised ever again. You let your wife have triplets like mine did.
There's no telling what a woman will do ashore when you're off at sea.
Well, I'll be getting to go by myself next trip. What do you think of that?
Well, wouldn't I like to get you in a dory, make your stern hang some low?
I'd like to take you up on that offer, and if you allowed me, I'd tip my hat to you.
You make a great hand after you learn the ropes. You know, I was green once myself, believe it or not. But all the joking aside, I'm glad you get to go. And even glad to be shipmates with you.
Appreciate it, Myron. I know I'll be getting a lot of joshing from you fellas, but I don't mind a bit.
Hey, Myron, this your gear?
No, it's Ike's. You can tell by how dirty it is.
There you go.
I'll take a blow for you.
Thanks, Myron.
You hand on the fence when she blows there, Charlie Fred.
Yeah, don't sit on the keel. Hey, Cookie, quick question. So, Ike's Myron's dory mate, isn't he?
Yeah. They've been through some tough spots together, too.
Yeah, and how are they? Pretty good fellas?
Well, between you and me, Ike's kind of talks too much. Some say that. Got a bit of a mean streak to him. Some folks say he's one of them IWW types, right? Industrial workers of the world, but I don't think there's any real harm to him. I mean, he mostly just spends his time reading books and going off about... Oh, hey, Ike.
Hey, Ike.
How's it going? Captain aboard yet? Yeah, he was, and then he went back ashore.
Yeah, he's up in the office chatting with my old man. They always like to chew the fat before he sets sails.
Can't chew the fat about what they're going to do with all the money they make from this sale, probably.
Oh, come on. You can't fault them for that. I mean, the more money they make, the more you make.
But that's the problem. I don't make enough. And I'm sure they're not upstairs thinking about how to get me more money. If anything, how to get me less.
Oh, they better not do this next trip. I'm going as a hand myself.
Why would an owner's son want to go fishing when you can stay up in the office and grow barnacles on your butt?
I'll be moving so fast there won't be any barnacles on my bottom.
We always got room for another top hand fishing.
But with enough of us on the boat, who's going to carry your oar for you?
Are you telling me that I can't hold up my end? Well, then if you're any man that you say you are, then put up your dukes. Come on, I'll send you the next week.
Hey, come on, guys. What are you doing? What's with the John L. Sullivan stuff? Come on.
I don't want any of these fellas to think I'm a sissy.
You don't gotta go and lick them to make them think that. And you ought to know better. You know Nate won't stand for no fight.
I didn't say anything about fighting. He's talking
Oh,
about
come on. Just go below deck and get to work. Nate'll have plenty for you to do once he gets here.
And when we get you in the dory, we'll see if you can hold your end up.
Oh, come on. Don't talk like that. You talk like that, people will start calling you a sea lawyer, and then no one will give you a cite.
It's still a free country, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a free country, but you might break your neck trying to prove it. Now you gotta watch out how you stand up to some of these tough trawler types. I mean, some of these guys are so tough, you hold their head underwater, they'll starve before they drown.
I just want to show these guys that I don't mind getting a little dented up myself.
Well, it was good of you to stand up to Ike like that. He'd plague the hell out of you if he thought he could get away with it. He'll probably try it again sometime too, so watch out.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Well, there's no point in me hanging around hoping nobody shows up missing. I better go back to work. Time will go by quicker that way.
Oh, yeah. We'll be gone like 3 or 4 weeks. Go like a shot for you.
Well, can't come too quickly for me.
Whoa. Hard to stop it there, you landlubber. Ain't you got no forward watch?
Hey, Captain. Great day for sailing today. Nice breeze, too.
Yeah, find us kind. We should make knots today.
Yeah, I tried to stow away in the shack locker, but Cookie had it so full of grub.
Oh, good thing you didn't. We use stowaways as bait.
Yeah. Well, I was hanging around to see if anybody showed up missing, but I gave it up at the end.
Don't worry, you'll get your chance. And I hope you make the best of it with all the chinning you've been doing.
Well, I hope to live up to your expectations, or I'd never be able to live it down, especially when you get the crossboom going over with the rigging when you come around to the point.
Well, I hope I do my best and I don't disappoint you. But if I were you, I'd get up and talk to that girlfriend of yours. It looks like she's awful glum this morning.
She's mad at me, Captain.
You had your hands pretty busy soft soaping, huh?
Well, gee, I don't know.
Cookie, who ain't on board yet?
Let's see. Lem, Nucky, Dory Plug, Frenchie, and, Isaac and Joe.
That's funny about Lem. He's usually the first one here.
Yeah, he can never seem to get away from home soon enough.
Oh, Dory Plug and Frenchie always have to stop for that last one. For good luck.
Oh, yeah. And Nucky's last in everything, except for fishing.
I never worry about Nuck.
Nah. Hey, Liz. Where's Lem?
He's sick. Where's the skipper?
You run over here. Hey, Nate. Liz Brewer's here. Wants to talk to you. Hope he ain't too bad.
He's bad, all right. I don't know how bad, though. Hiya, Nate. Lem's sick and he can't go this trip.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Liz. I saw him yesterday in front of the post office. He looked all right in the face.
Well, he ain't sick in the face. He's sick in the gut.
Of course, I didn't see that.
I should hope not. Not in broad daylight right out on Main Street.
Well, when did it take him?
Yeah, he's been complaining about a week. Then last night we had a little snack of baked beans and mince pie and hot tea before we turned in. Same as we always do. His appetite was good, but he hadn't been to sleep more than an hour before he woke up howling, complaining of an awful gutsache. He was sick as a squid.
The doctor been to him?
Course not. Costs $1 to get one of them fellas. I dosed him up with some paregoric and that seemed to ease his pain. He was weak as a rag this morning, though, and I told him he better stay ashore, just in case he has that inflammation of the bowels that has been killing lots of people nowadays. Because I know you don't want anybody dying aboard the Artemisia.
No, Liz. He should stay ashore until he finds out if he's going to be all right. Cookie, go and find Myron and tell him I want to talk to him.
Sure thing, Nate.
You tell Lem to watch what he eats before he's turning in. He ain't no spring chicken no more.
Never been a problem before. He always had a good appetite. By the way, is Nucky aboard yet?
Not on board yet, no.
I guess I'll wait till he comes. Lem wanted me to tell him something. My God, my feet are killing me. Ugh. Been up half the night with him, what with the hot water bottles and the hand holding, and listening to him complain about his nightmare. Men are awful babies. He complained more about the nightmare than he did about the bellyache. Thanks, Nate. I hope you have a nice trip.
Nucky, be right along.
What's the use skating there, Skipper?
I want you to go up and find Charlie's friend and tell him I want to talk to him. Don't tell him nothing else, just that.
You got it, Captain. Okay, Liz. You let him sick. You taking his place?
No, I ain't, but I bet I could, though.
Oh, I don't doubt that. God help the poor fish if you did.
And God help you if I was your dory mate.
Oh, I don't doubt that either.
Ike, let's get some help. Let's get this mainsail up.
Right. All hands out to hoist the mainsail. Isaac, Joe, give me a hand.
Oh, hey, Liz.
Hiya, Nucky. Lem can't go this trip.
Oh, yeah?
He's sick. He had an awful nightmare and it scared him. He dreamt he saw a man climbing up the rigging and disappearing off the cross trees of the Artemisia.
Oh, yeah?
And you know what that means. It means death. Somebody's gonna get lost, and Lem thinks it's gonna be him. He wasn't quite sure though, because he couldn't see the face. So it might not be him at all. But he ain't taking no chances, so he's staying ashore. It might be you.
Oh, yeah?
Lem thought I better warn you. He said it was worth telling you since you've been dory mates for so long. He don't want to see nothing happen to you.
Yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't me if you didn't see no face.
He's scared if it's one of you.
Maybe it don't mean nothing. Just something he ate.
You're saying that to fool yourself. You know it means death. It's an omen.
Yeah.
Why, only 4 or 5 years ago, Big Jim Fallon dreamt that he saw the crew of the Nancy James climbing the rigging and disappearing off the cross trees. He told Slobbery Dick Snow about it. Slobbery Dick threw his gear ashore and wouldn't go. And you know what happened then? The Nancy James sailed out of the harbor, never to be seen of nor heard tell of since.
Yeah, I know, but I gotta go anyways. Millie's been sick a lot, and we got bills to pay.
Nothing seems to jar ya, but I know Lem will never go to sea again. Not until he finds out who's supposed to get lost aboard the Artemisia. And let's face it, he ain't no good for nothing ashore.
I hope you don't have to stay ashore. Me and him does good in a dory.
By the way, I didn't tell Nate. Lem thought I better not. Said Nate would have to sail anyway. He couldn't keep the boat tied up at the wharf forever.
Maybe I wouldn't go myself if I had a dream.
Well, I hope it ain't you, but you can't say I didn't warn you.
Don't go talking to Millie about this now. She's got enough to worry her.
I won't say nothing to nobody ever. This is between you and me, no matter what happens. Wipe the tobacco juice off your chin.
Bye, you, Liz.
I hope it ain't you, but you can't say I didn't warn you.
Nope.
Keep Lem away from the women while we're gone there, Liz.
Lem's got plenty he can tend to at home.
How's she set, Skipper?
Swing her up a little at the peak. Make it fast. Isaac, Joe, let's go.
Charlie Fred said he'll be right along. But he said something about tea.
Much obliged, Myron.
Thanks, Captain.
Lucky! Did you hear about Lem?
Oh, yeah.
How would you feel about taking Charlie Fred as dory mate? He's not as green as you might think. And he's young and he's willing.
That's all right.
You drive him hard now. Just keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Ike, give that wheel a spin and see if she's ship-shape for sailing.
Nice day.
Hey, Captain. I completely forgot about the tea.
What tea?
The extra 5 pounds of tea you ordered yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I remember. That's not why I called you here.
Well, name it and I'll do it.
How would you like to go on this trip as Nuck's dory mate?
Gee, Nucky's the best dory mate in the whole fleet.
Lem's sick, he can't go.
Well, I won't be the second.
Whoa, wait, come back here. Where you going?
I was going to get my gear.
I don't want no hand of mine getting excited when there's nothing to get excited about. Is that any way to handle good tea?
Well, I'm sorry.
And I didn't say you were going, I asked you if you wanted to go.
I'd like it fine.
All right then. Go up and ask your father if you can go.
Right.
No, come back. And if he says yes, go up and say goodbye to your mother.
I won't be long.
No, don't rush. Go as fast as you can, without hurrying.
Aye, sir.
Aye, sir. What is this, the Navy? Ike! Bring this tea down to Cookie. And tell him Charlie Fred's going in Lem's place.
I suppose we'll have to treat him with kid gloves.
You'll do neither. You treat him like any other green hand.
I just hope he doesn't change our luck. An owner's son isn't usually much good on board.
Are you trying to tell me who to put on my own vessel?
No way.
Do what you're told and keep your mouth shut. Now, after you give that to Cookie, I want you to pull the flag and signal the tug. She'll be here way before Dory, Plug, and Frenchie get here.
I asked her, I say, why don't you take a walk with the Frenchie? And she say, why don't you go lay an egg? What does she mean, Dory Plug?
I don't know.
Lay an egg?
Maybe it's something about chicken on a raft. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. I don't mind nothing, but I ain't going in. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Jimmy clapping like a train. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Been looking at comic just again. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Hey, chicken on a raft on a Monday morning. Oh, what a terrible sight to see. The toast born in the dustman's hat. Sitting there picking on chicken on a raft. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Oh yo, chicken on a raft. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Oh yo, chicken on a raft. They gave me the middle and the forenoon too. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Now I'm pulling the whaler too. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Seagull wheeling overhead. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. I ought to be sleeping in a feather bed. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Hey, chicken on a raft on a Monday morning. Oh, what a terrible sight to see. Got those boys in the dustman's hat. Sitting there picking on chicken on a raft. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Oh yo, chicken on a raft. Hey yo, chicken on a raft. Oh yo, chicken on a raft.
What does she mean, Dory Plug? Lay an egg? She think I'm a hen or something?
Frenchie.
What?
Frenchie.
What do you say?
You know what?
What?
I didn't pay for the last drinks at Jim Winters.
Oh, it's okay.
No. I gotta pay my debts.
It's okay. You pay him when we come in.
Nope. My father said you always pay as you go.
But Jim Winters knows you will pay him back.
Nope. My grandfather says you pay your debts, you can look any man right in the face.
But my friend, Captain Nate about to sail. He leave Dory Plug on shore. Frenchie have no dory made. What do I do?
I'm an honest man. It's the problem with you foreigners. You don't know what an honest man is. I'm going.
No. You know what we do? We get Captain Nate. Captain Nate will fix everything up. He knows what to do. He is the captain. He knows everything.
Put me down! Put me down, you French bastard!
He'll pay Jim Winters!
Whoa! What is all the yelling about?
Dory Plug forgot to pay Jim Winters for his last drink.
Well, why did he pay for it when he got him?
He forgot.
Yeah, Nate, Dory gotta pay his debts.
I gotta pay my debts, Nate. I gotta pay my debts.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Dory Plug. You pay me, and then I'll owe Jim Winters for the drinks, and then you won't have a worry in the world.
Well, let me see. So I pay you. You pay Jim Winters. I don't owe nothing to nobody. Say, that's good.
Now, I want you to go down below and get in your bunk, and when you wake up, you'll be a new man.
So you owe Jim Winters, and I can get some rest.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Go with him, Frenchie. Get a kink yourself. By the way, why can't you be satisfied with just a couple? Why do you have to get loaded to the gills?
Western Bank long way with no drink.
You never had a day with no drink.
Well, I guess you can't change a man's nature, huh?
Nate, you you so good. You make Dory Plug so happy, he forget he has to pay Jim Winters. You a smart man.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
Oh, no, you're smart. You're smarter than Paul Jacobs and Captain Billy.
Get down below and give that back to him.
Okay.
Before I throw you off the dock.
Charlie Fred,
Debbie,
I just heard that you're going with Captain Nate this trip, and that you were going without saying goodbye to me.
I thought you were mad at me.
I wasn't that mad. Plus, I couldn't let you go to sea without saying goodbye.
Well, gee, Debbie, I felt terrible when you wouldn't let me come over to see you last night.
You hurt my feelings. I didn't believe that the office was a proper place to show affection.
I'm sorry, Deb.
That's better. Now you're being nice.
And I thought you were mad at me for wanting to go to sea, too.
Well, I don't believe that going to sea is any life for a young person to face when there's something so much better here.
There's nothing better than being a captain.
I hope you find out what's wrong with it on this one trip. We're not in the office now.
Corey.
Please listen to Captain Nate and do everything he tells you.
I got your picture with me.
I hope it brings you luck.
Thanks, Debbie. Well, goodbye. I'll be thinking of you.
Goodbye, Charlie Fred.
Bye, Debbie.
Bye.
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 Come here.
Bye, Deb. Well, I've got everything with me now but my sea legs.
You'll get them soon enough, like the rest of us, if you're any good on a boat. Now take your gear downstairs, put it in the forecastle, and go and talk to Cookie. He'll show you your bunk, and he'll answer any questions you ever have.
I know every inch of the Artemisia.
A vessel underway. There's nothing like one tied up at the wharf. Now, don't be such a know-it-all, and look alive when anyone tells you to do something.
Darn tootin'.
Yeah, you better listen to Nate.
All right, Nate.
Captain Nate!
What are you doing on the docks, Debbie?
I wish to talk to you about Charlie Fred.
What about Charlie Fred?
Well, I'm afraid you'll pamper him. I wish you'd make him realize what a hard life sailing is.
I'm not gonna pamper him. He's gonna know he ain't been yachting when he gets home.
Can't you just keep him cold and wet and seasick all the time?
I can't keep him seasick. Only the sea can do that.
Then have some storms. Not too big, just big enough to make big waves.
I'm not one of those magic fellas. I can't make storms. Say, you're really against Charlie Fred going fishing.
Well, if he's born to do it, I'll just make do like everyone else. But I'm certainly trying to discourage it, and you can help me. Can't you just give him all the miserable jobs and make him wish he was home in his own bed? Oh, you can put bed bugs in his bunk.
Where am I going to find bed bugs on the Artemisia?
Don't tell me the Artemisia doesn't have bugs in her. They all have them. She's no different.
Hey, Skipper, touch pull one side. How far do you want to tow?
To the breakwater. Get everyone ashore. I'll be right up.
Right. Stand by to catch the town line.
Stand by.
Stand by!
Debbie, it's time for me to go. Now, don't fret your pretty head. I'm going to run Charlie Fred through the ropes down inside of that dory, and we'll find out if he can hold his end up.
Wait. I didn't know you intended to let him go out on a dory.
He's going to do what any other hand would do.
But out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in one of those things?
Yes! Everything while we're going ashore, Debbie.
Don't you dare let anything happen to him.
Omens. Omens. All these omens.
I know it's all silly, stupid
superstitions. But how am I to know? I know these can't be premonitions. But every night I see a new face that it could be. I know that death draws near, but my friends seem not to hear. How could I know these are delusions that cause me to be blinded by fear? I'd rather think that these are omens, omens swirling in my mind. Omens, omens swirling in my mind. Omens, omens, omens swirling in my mind. Like the waves swirl at sea, carrying illusions, all these frightening dreams. At mercy of wind, I see them sailing, sailing, sailing to their end. My friends don't seem to hear when I tell them death is near. I know we'll see them soon again. And even if I know either way they'll be at sea where their hearts belong.
I was sailing on a whaler when a dreadful storm arose, and on that whaler I was met with winds and waves exposed. Surrounded by giant whales, we all began to moan. They addressed us in a language decidedly their own. Jumpsy, gypsy, jammery, yoy, fury, yoy, glory. Pikey, psyche, clanky, pikey, till go on and glory.
I never laughed so much. Do him some more.
Quiet down, Frenchie.
Not now, Frenchie. Captain wants me on deck when we're thick of things like this. He says they got good ears.
Good ears for music, anyways.
He's got good ears for anything. He hears better asleep than you do awake.
One time he was sailing, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you told me the other day about that time you guys got lost out there. What happened there?
Well, one time, the fog was so thick, I couldn't see the blades of my oars. I could only hear the wind howling. I thought for sure we were goners, but he managed to bring us right up alongside. He heard the horn the whole time.
God, that fog, it's all around us.
Lots of fog up there.
Sure is.
On the rolling sea, spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea when she rolls. Out on the rolling sea, spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea when she rolls.
has been this way since the dawn of the first day. No matter what you plan or where you roam, we're passing through this place, each at our different pace. The world is just a journey, it's not our home. You cannot own the earth, you can't count how much it's worth. You cannot keep the riches that you earned. Remember you're a guest and forget about the rest. Just look and listen, love, and try to learn. Out on a rolling sea, Spirit speaks to me. Out on a rolling sea when she rolls. Out on a rolling sea, Spirit speaks to me. Out on a rolling sea when she rolls.
The fog, she's thick right now.
And this is a hell of a place to be stuck in a thick fog. No wind, right in the steamer lane, and a hole full of fish we have to get to market.
Not even little bit wind. No wind at all.
I have a hole full of fish. We can't even get out of our own way.
What we need is one of those newfangled engines. You don't need no wind with them.
They break down too quick. Sail much better.
Might as well be broken down. Sail's no good without any wind.
As I said, no wind.
Oh, the thicker that fog gets, the colder it gets.
She's got a good head of steam on her. Here.
Greasy donut. Real greasy.
Oh, come on. Yes. Nah, come on. You ain't ever had anything good to eat at all before you come to Gloucester. I mean, before you come to Gloucester, all you knew was herring and potatoes.
Lots of good things come from St. Pierre.
Oh, come on. Name one good thing comes from St. Pierre.
Me! I come from there!
That just goes to prove what I'm saying.
Highlines on these boats no good. Dory plug. You tell him Frenchie's a good dory maker.
Sit down, Frenchie. They're just trying to get you on a line. Don't be so thick-headed.
Yeah, I get Cookie on the line.
All right, fine. Name one good thing coming from St. Pierre.
I know. Red rum.
Quiet! I hear a steam whistle a ways off.
I don't hear anything.
I keep telling you, you're deafer than a haddock compared to him. He hears better than a guy with 4 ears.
Maybe in 5 years. Maybe it's his ear for music.
Vibrations, I guess. Don't seem to hear words too good. When it was up on deck, I thought I heard a ship to starboard of us.
It's probably the Sadie Noonan or the Mighty Mac. They got underway about the same time we did.
I don't see anything.
Well, of course you don't. I mean, you couldn't even see through the hole in one of those donuts.
I don't bite, Cookie.
Not even a hole. You're not making any sense, Frenchie.
Fog lighting up any, Nucky?
Nope. Thicker.
Damn that fog.
I say, damn it.
Anybody hear that steamer whistle?
Nope. Nobody heard nothing.
What's the gang been doing on deck?
Put the main topsail on it, lit a couple of torches.
Nate knows all the tricks.
Yeah. Gory. That fog is so thick, you get drowned without getting your feet wet.
And look who's telling us about the fog.
Yeah, the green one.
What's the matter? You fellas can't take a joke?
Hey, Charlie Fred, have some donuts. You're the last one of us to mug up.
No donut for me, thanks. Just tea.
Shoot! What happened to that seagoing appetite? I mean, yesterday you could eat a whole horse.
I got a headache.
I'm seasick?
You don't get a sore throat when you're seasick.
You got a sore throat.
Yeah. The little one.
Probably just a tiny one. Let me have a look. Open up. Oh yeah. You got some white spots and oh, you got a fever too. Okay. I tell you what, I'll dose you up real good. Why don't you drink that tea good and hot?
No, it don't amount to anything. What do you think I am, a baby?
Yeah, a baby.
Hey, Cookie doses all of us.
Hey, what Cookie says carries a lot of water with us, especially when we don't feel so good.
He makes lard and molasses just like Mama used to make.
Good like candy.
Well, if you fellas can live through his remedies, then I guess I can too.
Might as well take care of these things before they get too bad.
But what'll Nate say, though?
Well, if he was about to go fishing, I'd just dose you right up, throw you back in a dory. But right now, I don't want to take any chances.
There's that whistle again.
I hear him too. I listen hard.
I've been through plenty of fog. Expect to again, but I don't like fog.
And that whistle?
Well, fog is better than a gale, Ike.
Sometimes, yeah, but you can walk on the deck okay, but in a gale, you gotta hang on tight. But when the fog comes in, it gets creepy, and all you hear is that horn. You're sure someone's getting hurt.
Oh, you sound like an old woman.
I don't like fog.
Well, neither do I, but you don't hear me yapping about it.
Me neither.
Hey, Charlie Fred, why don't you have some more of that tea? Drink it good and hot before that last one cools down in your gizzard.
It's hot, all right.
Cookie, you should have been a doctor.
No.
Or a midwife.
No. I don't want anything to do with no women or no babies. I mean, I tell you, women start going fishing, I'll open up a hatch house ashore.
You could not work ashore if you wanted to.
Oh,
Lots of women ashore, Cookie.
yeah, but there's more leeway ashore. Easier to duck out on them.
Trouble with you is, all you know is those 50-cent floozies down on Rogers Street.
Dollars one's more better.
Oh, come on. But Frenchie's right. I mean, the better they are, the more they cost. And well, all you married fellas are always going on about how you don't make enough as it is. All right, Charlie Fred, open up on wide, take your medicine like a man. Hey, come on. Don't swallow so fast. I wanted to go down real slow. There you go. So it grease up the sore spots.
I have a sore throat too, Cookie.
Oh, come on. No, you don't. You wouldn't know a sore throat if it bit you in the ass.
Cookie, watch out. He'll steal all your lard and molasses. That's what they used to get in their Christmas stocking down St. Pierre.
What are you talking about, Dory Plug?
All right, Charlie Fred. Why don't we get those oilcloths off of you?
Huh? What for?
You're gonna turn in for a spell.
But what if Nate needs me up on deck, though?
We got 15, 16 hands running around in a flat calm. He's not gonna need you.
Sure won't need you. All right, if you say so. I do feel kind of funny, though.
Let me give you a hand with that stuff.
Appreciate it, Dory. There you go.
Look at all that dirt. Your brand new oilcloths, all dirty.
Hope you ain't any scareder of dirt than I am.
So that's telling him, say, you're looking better by the minute. You look like a well-done lobster.
Yeah, lobster. You don't look so good, kid.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of hot. Hey, Cookie, can I get some water?
Doctor says you can't have water when you got a fever.
Oh yeah, hot tea is all right.
Isn't hot tea mostly water?
Well, yeah, but it's different, and it's hot. Just drink this, come on.
All right. It's hot, all right. Ha! Tea must be working.
Cookie's cures are as bad as what ails you, but they work.
All right, one more cure. Charlie Fred, you're gonna pull off your shoe here, take off one of your stockings.
What? What for?
We are gonna turn this thing inside out.
Oh, God.
And then we're gonna put this right around your neck.
Have you lost your rudder, Cookie? Oh, God. I've had it on the whole week.
Oh, good.
Took it off once.
Good. It only works when it's good and sweaty. Come on, stop squirting.
Yeah, sweaty.
All right, I don't know why though. Something about it just stops the cold from settling down into your lungs.
If your mom can see it now.
God.
Mama, your mama.
She used to use flaxseed poultices.
Yeah, we all had them. Dirty socks is better.
Phew! This stocking stinks.
Yeah, clean one's no good. It's the stink that cures you.
Here, Charlie Fred, take another dose of this.
Oh, God, not again.
Oh, come on, this isn't bad. Ow!
Oh, God. Huh?
Something bit my ass. It's this board. It's all full of splinters. It's rotten. Did it tear my pants?
See, I told you, it's rotten.
You didn't tear your pants, not even a little bit.
I can't tear my pants. I get a wet ass. Bad for my rheumatism. Charlie Fred, watch out for this board. You can put your foot right through it and get hurt bad.
I feel too light to go through anything right now.
Cookie, make sure you tell Nate about that board. Someone's gonna get hurt on that.
Wonder how that happens.
Maybe worms, or just plain rotten.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell him about it when we get back to port. All right, Charlie Fred, come on. We're gonna tuck you in now. We gotta get you good and warm and sweating.
All right, Cookie. I'm getting hotter and hotter.
Good. That's the fever. Means that thing's working. Once you get sweating, fever will break right up.
All
Wow, that fog is thicker than I've ever seen in all my born days.
It sure is.
What are you cooking there, Cookie? It smells good.
Pea soup.
Yeah, pea soup.
Well, we should have some wind before long.
Yeah. Have some in a couple of hours.
Well, I guess we better figure on it then. That's what the barometer says.
Yeah. Always pulls in a high in a fog like this one.
Don't know about the barometer, but Nucky's always right. Nate, you can chuck that barometer right over the side.
I think I'll keep it in case Nuck stays in one of these trips. I thought I heard a steamer whistle a while back. Did you hear it, Myron?
Yeah. Well, first time, the time before that, was right off the port bow of us. Came in the same direction, so can't be making too many knots.
This fog's so thick, maybe even those speed demons are slowing down. Scared they might scrape some paint off if they hit something.
Too bad they don't hit one another once in a while. That might slow them down.
Yeah.
But they always seem to find something to hit smaller than them.
Nate, Charlie Fred ain't feeling too good. Says he's got a bit of a cold.
Why don't you sing out if you weren't feeling good?
I didn't think it amounted to anything.
Well, it takes a lot to get used to all the cold and the wet out here. We'll toughen you up after a spell. Don't feel so bad. We all get a cold once in a while.
Yeah, it sure does. I'll be all right.
And while you're over there, Nate, take a look at that foot locker. There's a rotten board or something in the back there. Someone might get hurt. Put a foot right through it.
I'll have it looked at next time in. I got some other carpenter jobs to do. Remind me if I forget, will you?
Sure thing, Nate.
Charlie Fred, you do whatever Cookie tells you. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Cookie told me to sweat, and I'm doing it plenty. I'm melting over here.
Good.
You keep those bedclothes tucked in now, Charlie Fred.
All right, Cookie. No, Nate, if you need me up on deck, I'm fine to stand watch.
I won't need you. I want you on a bed watch right now. That's the kind of watch I want you on.
I think I can do a good job at that.
You could do a good job on any watch. You're not a landlubber anymore. What do you got that's shiny and bright?
Let me look.
That liner gets too close. I want to shine something. I want to shine the lights off the torches on that topsail. Those liners are so tall, sometimes we're so close to the water they can't even see us.
How's about the top of this kettle? That's good and shiny, yeah?
That's great, Cookie. We'll take this, put it on that topsail, it'll shine brand new and shiny white yet. We need to be ready for anything.
Oh, yeah.
Can't be too careful with those seagoing aristocrats. They take down a fishing boat as anything.
I don't think they really mean it, Ike. I don't like them much either, and I got plenty of cause not to. My brother was lost in the adventure. She was cut down. And one spring, I was on the Weldon. Sana, one of those high-toned podoggers, cut the same boat we was towing right in half. They never even slowed down to see what happened to us.
And I was on the Cock Robin when she got cut down by that German liner. And they hove to and picked us up. All except the poor bastards stuck in the books, so. But then they made it feel like it was our fault for being in their way and slowing them up. They have a schedule they want to keep.
Too bad about them. We're just trying to stay alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, living's important.
Another thing I want to do, if we have to, Myron, is I want to bang on the bottom of those trawl tubs. Some say that sound carries further than the horn. I don't know how it'll be in the fog. We used to use it to call in the dories. Before Lothrop invented the horn, and we had to blow our lungs out in a tin one.
Yeah, some people still like that better than the horn.
The vibrations, just like them drums the savages used to use to talk to the jungle.
Talking to each other on drums. I think you're getting into shoal water there, Myron.
No, I ain't neither. I read about it in a book once. They pull out a log, stretch some animal skin on top of it, and then they pound on it. The sound can carry for miles.
That's right, Dory Plug. I've seen some of those drums before.
That's a funny way for talk.
They don't talk as much as you do.
We used to use belan pins to pound on them. It made one heck of a racket.
The chopsticks should work too. I'll try them both. Say, should I break out the beat?
I don't know what you mean.
I'll show you. There's that steam whistle again.
My God, it sure is.
How's she sound to you? What direction?
It's closer.
Yeah. Last time it was up the port bow. But now it's more aft. See, what I'm trying to say is, instead of pounding like this, you pound like this.
I don't know nothing about music. You just keep pounding on that, so it does the most good no matter how hard you have to pound it.
Oh yeah, do just that. Cookie, is everything good and sturdy?
Let's see. There you go.
This should do the trick. Survive some pounding. Oh, you know what else I'll do? I'll pretend I'm Bane on one of them steamliner skippers. Thick gold skulls.
Yeah, that's right, Myron. I tell you, there's not much Myron can't do. He'll make a good skipper someday.
He brings good luck with his fiddle.
Good luck. We had 2 concertinas and a fiddle on the Cock Robin when she went down.
Maybe music's only good for catching the fish.
Nah, jinx can come from anything. I tell you, that lunkhead on that liner doesn't change his mind. He should clear us with plenty of sea room.
But if they can't see sun or stars for a couple of hours, they get lost. No telling what they're gonna do.
The rest of you, get up on deck after you finish your mug up.
What about me?
You stay in your bunk till Cookie says you can get out. If I need you, I'll call you to the deck.
All right, Nate. That horn sounds like Joe Nugent's cow mooing to get milked.
I wish it was Joe Nugent's cow.
Hey, Nucky, why you don't talk over there?
Huh? Nothing to say. You don't see nothing either.
Oh, maybe you talk when you become Highlines like me and Dory play.
Hey, you leave Nucky alone. He's got you all beat by himself. And if I was as good as I ought to be in a Dory, we'd beat you all to pieces. Next time, I'm gonna do better.
Yeah, pipe down, Frenchie, and stop bragging.
You're all too nervous. I make poetry for you.
Oh, not again.
The wind she blows on St. Pierre. Burned by, she blows some more. I hope the wind comes to us and blows us all to shore. Good, no?
No. Come on.
I never laughed so few. Cookie, I take slop bucket up deck for you.
There you go. Don't put it out the head. Put it out ass.
I whistle to bring wind.
Hey, Nate would haul you over the side if you did that.
Ah, not even little whistle for little wind?
No! You're too afraid in a gale. You won't go up and whistle. But I tell you what, why don't you just go and talk at the mainsail? I mean, you talk enough as it is to make a 2-reef breeze.
I say to the mainsail, I say, hello, Mr. Mainsail. Are you nervous about the fog like the little old ladies down below?
Simeon's all right.
Sure, we know. He's just trying to keep up with the men.
Yeah, all those foreigners are like that.
All we've got going for him, though, is a strong back. If it wasn't for you, he wouldn't keep his end up in the dory.
Oh, yes, he would, too. He's pretty good these days.
But he doesn't have to brag about it all the time.
Yeah.
I gotta get up on deck.
That thing's a lot closer, ain't it?
Yeah, about a quarter mile away.
Don't suppose that farmer's changing his course, do you not?
Still sounds astern of us to me.
Let's hope she stays there.
Slop bucket coming down!
Jeez, what?
Why do you have to scare us half to death, Frenchie? It's all full of fog.
You make our laugh, Dory.
All the years I've been to sea, no one's ever tucked me in like this.
Ain't you jealous?
You leave the boy be. You've been hitting things the whole trip. He ain't afraid of his own shadow either. Don't keep those big clothes too tight around you in case you have to get up sudden. You're a damn good dory mate, and I hope it ain't you. You're too young to die. Bet if it be me. Die? Die? I ain't very sick. Nothing. I must have been talking to myself, I guess.
Why the old coot have to talk about dying? Anyhow.
He's off his bearing. I think the fog's finally gotten to him.
Oh, I don't think so, Ike. He ain't crazy, but something's on his mind. I mean, he's been off by himself the whole trip.
And chewing on his mustache more than ever.
Die?
I don't know why he has to talk about dying. Who wants to think about dying?
He'll have us all balmy. I think I've seen a ghost.
I just hope he knew what he was saying when he said that I was a good dory mate.
Well, of course he did. He wouldn't have said it if he didn't mean it.
That makes it feel a lot better.
Shoot!
Keep covered up before you undo all the good sweat.
All right, Doctor.
Is Myron on his vibrations? Nate thinks of everything.
Those vibrations are gonna drive me crazy. No wonder them savages beating on their drums eat each other up. You have to listen to that crap all the time.
I don't need that to give me the creeps when you got all this fog out here.
Oh, man. I gotta get up on deck. That's gonna drive me crazy.
What you gonna do when you get up there?
I'm gonna bang on one of them tubs. The damn thing's getting closer.
Go up and put a curse on him. I'll be right up to help you.
Got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, why don't you get up after him too? You know, I can't stop thinking about what Nucky was saying. I mean, it's almost like he knows something's gonna happen that we don't.
I don't think you'll ever figure out what that old fogey's thinking. But what's got me got right now is that steamer.
Yeah.
She cuts us through the forecastle. No one's getting out.
I tried.
Charlie Fred, don't you listen to them. One or two folks can get out of a forecastle in case the ship goes down, if they got enough time. And I'm sure Nate will give us plenty of warning in case that steamer gets too close for comfort. Be okay.
But those things sneak up on us. They make it nuts. Say, what's up with Nucky? Do you think he knows there's a jinx on board?
You keep quiet, Charlie Fred. And you, why don't you just get up above deck? I mean, you watch your tongue with all this jinx stuff. Come on. You're always scared. Nucky ain't scared. You're afraid of your own shadow.
Look at your engine, skipper!
Oh.
What's the matter? My leg. I can make it go.
Shut up. Do what you're told.
Shit!
I'll climb.
I'm calling!
Cannot own the earth, can't count on what it's worth. You cannot keep the riches that you own. Remember, you're a guest, and forget about the rest. Just look, listen, love, and try to learn. Out on the rolling sea, Spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea, where she rolls. Out on the rolling sea, Spirit speaks to me. Out on the rolling sea, when she rolls.
Hello, John F. Munson Company. No, Mr. Munson is not here at present, but I can take a message. Mr. Bates is here. I'll call for him. Mr. Bates!
Coming!
There's a call for either you or Mr. Munson, but he's not back from lunch yet.
Who's calling?
I don't know, but it was a long distance number.
Seth Bates speaking. Yes, I'll stand by. That was our New York agent, but the connection's been broken. The operator will call us back.
Beauty and the Beast. I've heard of it, didn't never expect to see it.
You be careful what you say, Billy Hall. I don't mind you calling me beautiful, but I don't like to hear you calling Debbie names.
I guess you know who's being called names. Nobody would call him beautiful unless they'd lost their rudder, would they, Debbie?
Some of you skippers might, Captain Billy.
Why, Debbie Wharton, is that a nice thing to say?
Yeah, Debbie's a mighty smart girl.
Well, say all us skippers is crazy. Every time I come here, I get insulted. Where's John?
He's not in yet.
I was wondering if he'd heard anything about Nate. I'm sailing the day after tomorrow, and I was hoping he'd be in a 4-hour sail. If he's got a lot of fish, I want to know where he got them.
Well, I did hear that Captain Seelig held for him, and that they were doing well. They'll be back in about a week, as long as good fishing keeps up.
Yeah, that'd make it today or tomorrow.
That Nate can land on the fish every time.
You have a pretty good nose for it yourself.
I guess he'll be in a 4-hour sail.
Have a note with your pencil ready, Debbie. Might be something we want to make a note of. Hello, Seth Bates speaking. How are you, Sam? What's on our mind? What was that liner's name? Debbie, write this down. The French liner Navette. Yes, Sam. I don't know. Any particulars? You'll see that the crew is taken care of and sent back home. Goodbye.
What is it, Seth?
I'll tell you in a minute. Waldo, Jack, come here. I've got to get John.
Want me? Or me?
Yes, hurry out and find Mr. Munson. Tell him he's wanted at the office.
Right now?
Now, yes. Run.
Should we run?
Yes, run.
Should we run back?
Run along, run along.
I'll beat you, Jack. No, you won't, Waldo.
It's the Artemisia. She's been cut down. All the crew were saved.
What about Nate? Come, Debbie. How did it happen?
Nate? I told Sam it was a thick of fog the night before last, and Charlie Fred was in his bunk at the time. When he jumped down, his foot went through a rotten board in the footlocker.
But he got out, right?
Nate went down and helped him out, but he wasn't able to get himself out before the crash.
He's coming, met him right outside. You want us to go back to work?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Welcome.
I suppose Sam will tell us more as soon as he knows more.
He'll do everything he can. He's been looking after our interests in New York for years now, and he'll know what to do.
I wonder what could have put a jinx on the Artemisia. She was such a lucky boat. Someone put a jinx on her, all right.
Not Charlie Fred.
That's what everybody will think. He's been so lucky to have this happen his first trip.
He'll never go to sea again if people start thinking he's a jinx.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have him go to sea than have people think that. He could get queer in the head like Scrod Coombs from people calling him a jinx.
Waldo and Jack seem to think I should be running right along with them. What is all the hurry?
We have terrible news, Mr. Munson.
The Artemisia's been cut down. Everybody's saved, but Nate.
How's the crew?
They're all landed in New York. The liner didn't have any trouble picking them up, but Nate was trapped in the forecastle. And Charlie Fred is in the Bellevue Hospital now.
You didn't tell us that.
How bad is he?
The only thing that Sam could find out at the time was that there was something the matter with one of his legs.
No other information?
Sam's partner, Norm Elliott, is in the hospital now. Sam said we could expect a call from him most any minute. That's why I was in such a hurry to get you here.
That's very thoughtful of Sam. We can get our information right from the source.
Yeah, Sam thought you'd like to talk to the doctor, so he's going to call me himself later to give more details.
Seems like something could be done about those liners that won't slow down for nothing.
Nate Morrison was worth more than the whole French fleet.
Was it a French ship that cut them down?
The Navette.
If Sam Peabody calls again, tell him I said to get all the particulars and institute proceedings immediately. It's all we can do. If the courts find them at fault enough times, it may force some action.
Didn't they say anything else about Charlie Fred?
Nothing, Debbie. Nothing.
Be patient, Deborah. We'll know soon enough.
I'm glad Nate at least doesn't have any close relatives here to have to tell.
And Seth, will you contact his relatives in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia?
He has a cousin sailing out of here, but I'll notify his people in Yarmouth.
I just don't know quite how to tell Charlie Fred's mother about this. I'm not good at this sort of thing.
Would you like to have me tell her, Mr. Munson?
I would love that very much, Deborah, and thank you for the offer, but I'm afraid I must do this myself, no matter how awkward I am.
I know exactly how you feel, John. It's going to be hard to tell this to anybody without them getting all upset.
I just wish there was something we could do.
Debbie, don't you start getting...
Hello? Hello, Norm. Yes, he's right here. I'll put him on. He has a doctor there for you to talk with.
Hello, this is John Munson. I'm the boy's father. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Please just tell me what his condition is. Okay, doctor, I'll come to New York right away and I'll talk to you then. Thank you. Goodbye. Well, he's in no immediate danger, but he has a broken ankle and pneumonia.
It's terrible.
The doctor expects no complications. He's young, he's healthy, he's got everything going in his favor.
Charlie Fred won't let a little thing like pneumonia bother him any. It takes a while to get over a busted ankle, though.
I feel better about talking to his mother, though. But I'll still have to go down there, of course.
Will you bring Mrs. Munson?
Well, I prefer she stay. I'd rather have her go later. But if I can persuade her not to, it'd be great if you could spend the evening with her.
I'd be glad to.
And I'll rely on you and Seth to carry on while I'm away.
Will you tell him I'll write to him? And tell me how you find him?
I promise.
And will you give him my love?
I certainly will.
Tell him we're all with him.
And don't forget to reassure the crew's family, Seth, after you get all the facts.
I will, John.
Mr. Bates, he's so far away. It may be months until I see him next. What will I do?
Do? Show what you're made of.
But pneumonia. People die of pneumonia.
Some do, some don't.
The sea's a funny thing. It gives us a living, but sometimes it takes away more than it gives.
We're so helpless against it.
But what would we all do if it wasn't for the sea?
We do what normal people do.
Get
who
out
have
your
never
nonsense.
seen the ocean.
Get out your nonsense, Debbie. If you've got nothing to look at but dirt and trees and houses, what's the sense of living anyhow? Those people don't even know they're alive.
That's the issue with you sailors. You don't know there's any kind of life other than your own.
I've seen the way other people live. Take the big cities, New York, Boston. If you want to live the way they do, go ahead. You're welcome. They're crowded together like a school of mackerel and just as crazy. Always in a hell of a hurry and never seem to know which way to go. And somebody's always getting killed in them. It ain't even safe to live in those places.
Look, Captain Billy, I know you're trying to help, but nothing you can say will make fishing any safer. And with Captain Nate gone, you know how they are. You know what they'll say. They're gonna blame it all on Charlie Fred.
Come, Debbie, come. That's all part of this business we're mixed up in. We do what we can with it when we come to it. Nobody's in love with the sea right now, after what it's done to us. But work is an awful good thing to have at a time like this, and we've got work to do. So let's get on with our job. Let's lower the flag. We'll remember Artemisia. We'll remember Nate Morrison.
morn I woke and saw the girl scream high above.
Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride. And in the morn I woke and saw the girl scream high above.
The captain put me straight to work. I told him I declined. I paid for that and more, my son. I got my fill of brine.
Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride. I paid for that and more, my son. I got my fill of brine.
The storm approached and caught us blind. It ripped our sails to shreds. The rocks gouge holes in all our minds. We'll surely end up dead.
Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride. The rocks got holes in all our minds. We'll surely end up dead.
I woke this time to crashing waves and crying gulls above. God bless the seas and stars alike. I'm off to find my love.
Roll and go, ride, schooner, ride. I'm off to find my love at last. Wait not day or night.
How's that Norfolk order coming, Seth?
I'm afraid we're going to be a little shy.
I'm not worried about it. We'll have plenty of fish to fill that order. I can't get over expecting to see the Artemisia every time I look out that window.
I miss her too. Seems like there's something missing all the time. Doesn't seem possible she's been gone 6 months.
You know, I haven't been able to talk about this much, but I feel a certain guilt for Nate getting lost. I practically put the responsibility on him to make sure Charlie Fred got home safely.
Mr. Munson, I felt the same way. Before they left, I said, don't you dare let anything happen to him, and I felt terrible ever since.
Well, it's good to know we can share the blame, Deborah.
But that's the way he wanted it. And I don't know what would have happened to him if he'd saved himself and lost Artemisia and Charlie Fred too. You know, it took most 3 minutes for her to sink.
You don't believe he may have had a premonition that he would lose the Artemisia, do you?
And we'll never know. We do know he loved that boat. Of course, lots of skippers are attached to their boat, but I never saw one that was so wrapped up in a boat as he was in her.
That does make me feel a little bit better, doesn't you, Deborah?
Yes, very much. But I do miss Captain Nate.
We all do, Debbie. He was an awful good man.
One of a kind.
Sorry to bother such hardworking people.
No sarcasm from you, Billy Hall.
Hey, Billy, heard you got in last night.
Hello, John. How are you? And Debbie, you're looking as pretty as ever.
Good morning, Captain Billy.
How was your trip?
Well, we struck a little weather. It's a funny thing how that happened. A puff hit us. Didn't have much wind before, none afterwards. It's a good thing the topsail carried away, or we would have been hove down for sure. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. You see, the Resolute is a fast boat, but she don't like sudden changes. I was thinking if we changed the rigging a little bit,
She'd be a better sailor, John.
More expense.
Well,
Get out, you old money bags.
Well, come in the office, Billy. We'll talk about it.
You know, Billy, I almost got out to the bank. Nate was going to take me next trip, but I guess I'll never get to go out now.
Well, why didn't you say you wanted to go? I'll expect you to be my guest on my very next trip.
Gosh, Billy, thanks. I thought I'd have to do a lot more hinting than that.
Guess I fooled him out there.
Debbie, looks like I'm going fishing after all.
I will never understand you men. Why should a man of your age be so determined to go fishing?
Look, Debbie, men are peculiar people. Myself, I've seen everything I care to see, and I've done everything I care to do, except going fishing. And by thunder, I'm going fishing. My wife ain't let me get my feet wet for 40 years. Now I'm going to go out and slosh around in salt water up to my ears. Maybe the death of me, but I'll die happy.
Well, I hope you don't have to go through what Charlie Fred did to get fed up with fishing.
You know as well as I do that Charlie Fred ain't fed up with fishing.
Yeah, I guess I do. Despite pneumonia and a broken ankle, he'd be right back out there on the banks. First chance he got if it wasn't for that other thing holding him back.
It's a crying shame. Regular heathen beliefs about what's bad luck aboard a boat.
And I'm worried about him. I mean, he doesn't talk about it, but he's absent, and I know it's bothering him.
And nothing we can do about it either.
Mr. Sapp!
How much?
$10. Dory Plug and me go with Captain Billy on next trip. We make so much money, we pay that company easy. $10? Oh my gosh! What am I going to do with all this money? It's too much money to owe. What if we have a broke set? What if I fall off the bowsprit? I can't even swim.
Sure that's enough.
Are you all right, Mr. Bates?
Frenchie, I'm going sailing with Captain Billy next trip.
Oh yay! We be shipmates. We meet you at Jim Winter's barroom day before we sail.
I'll be there.
I buy you 2 drinks, 3 drinks, 4 drinks.
All right, all right.
Hey, Frenchie.
Oh, hello, Charlie Fred.
Who are you sailing with these days?
Dory Plug and I go sailing with Captain Billy.
Oh, well, good luck.
Remember, day before we sail, Jim Winter's barroom, Mr. Seth.
We're shipmates now. You can call me Seth.
Oh, goody! I buy you 6 drinks. Funny things happen when we're on ship together.
Did you notice how standoffish Frenchie was with me just there? I guess they're all like that.
Perhaps it's only your imagination?
I wish it was. There's no point in me trying to convince them otherwise as long as they believe it was my fault the Artemisia went down.
Yeah. Jim Ross was shipwrecked twice, and both times he was the only one saved. After that, nobody would sail with him.
Yeah, poor fella had to get a job ashore.
Seth, could you and Charlie Fred come in the office for a second? I think it's a good time for Charlie Fred to learn the repair side of the business.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I've got Ike to thank for the mess that I'm in. I swear, he's out to get me.
What you've got to thank for that is 300 years of superstition.
Ah, shut up! Go and soak your head. Ugh. That young Cameron out in the skinning loft is getting too big for his britches. One of these days I'm gonna get good and mad and tell him who his father is.
To whom do you wish to speak?
Well, seeing that I ain't feeling very particular today, I'll talk to you.
And what is the nature of your business?
Listen here, Deborah Wharton. Don't go using your high and mighty airs on me. I knew your father's people down in Sydney, Nova Scotia, where the people lived in one half of the house and the pigs lived in the other.
Okay, let's try to keep personalities out of this. The office is no place for personal business.
Wherever there's people, whether it's in a business office or digging clams, you can't get away from who you are.
We can still try to be ladies, no matter how difficult it is.
I never tried to be anyone but me, and it was my silly conscience that brought me down here today. I must have been mistaken. I thought you didn't want Charlie Fred going to sea again. You wouldn't want to hear what I have to say anyway.
Okay. You've done quite a bit of talking. Now I'm gonna do some. Naturally, I didn't want Charlie Fred to go to sea when he had a safe job ashore and all of this, but I have since realized that there's worse things that can happen to a man than going to sea. And there's only one thing that you could say that would have any bearing on his going to sea. And if you know anything about that, I suggest you start talking before I forget that I'm a lady.
Ah, so you got a little spunk, do ya? Willing to go after your man like a common waterfront flounder.
I certainly can, and a great deal harder.
And it sounds like you got a little common sense, too.
Try me.
I don't blame you for not wanting Charlie Fred to go to sea, but you'd be silly to try to stop him. They get awful cranky when they have to stay ashore.
I only tried to discourage him. Go on, go on.
Listen, if a fella goes to sea and he finds out that his woman's trying to keep him ashore, he'll start to hate her. And his hate will begin to grow so much that he'll start to love his hate.
Don't tell me you came here to preach.
Don't tear your shirt. Lem, me, and Nucky were talking about it, and we think it's a crying shame that a smart young fellow like Charlie Fred should be called a jinx when it ain't so.
How could you know anything about that? Could you prove it?
Of course I can.
Would you do so before witnesses?
Sure, bring 'em along. Charlie Fred, John Munson, Seth Bates, anybody else who's round.
I'm sorry I was so brazen. This just means so much to him, Liz.
Aw, it's good to know that some of you young folks have a little backbone these days.
And I'm not as stuck up as I seemed when you came in. Mr. Munson just likes dignity in the office.
Oh, he does, does he?
I'll call for them. Captain Billy's here too.
Come.
Liz Brewer's here and she'd like to talk to you all.
What about?
About Charlie Fred being a jinx.
I want to say it ain't so, and I could prove it.
Gosh, Liz, tell us quick.
The real reason the Artemisia was lost was because of Lem's dream. Lem dreamt he saw a man climbing up the rigging and disappearing off the cross trees. And you know what that means. Nate would have been lost whether Charlie Fred went or not.
Did you tell Nate about it?
No, Lem thought 'twas sure it was him and Nucky. That's why he stayed ashore that trip. 'Twas no use to tell Nate. He couldn't leave the Artemisia tied up until she rotted.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that. He'd have to go out anyway.
Gosh, Liz, it's been kind of you to tell us.
Well, you got that girl of yours to thank. I was starting to get cold feet about talking, but she made me turn around and spill it.
Well, you didn't need very much coaxing.
Well, now that that's out, I'll spread it around, and when I'm done talking, nobody will think you're a jinx.
Well, Charlie Fred, I had heard about this and thought it meant you were through going to sea, but I can see how happy it makes you feel now that you know it's not true.
You're right, Dad. Come on, Liz. Let's go tell the whole town quick.
Thank you for telling us, Mrs. Brewer.
No problem. Ding toe.
That was my nickname when I was a boy, and I believe I've outgrown it by now. So, perhaps we can go about our business, Billy? We won't need Seth. It's all about the cost. If we can keep it under $200, we can start repairs right away.
I'll go right over to Christensen's and see just how much it'll cost.
Good. If the price is right, we'll get right on it.
You know, Seth, it just dawned on me. It came right out of the clear sky.
What dawned on you?
What ails the resolute? She's ding-toe!
Hey, Captain Billy, I hear you need a dory mate for Hake Nelson.
I sure do.
Well, here I am. And look, hardly limp at all.
Now, look here, Charlie Fred. You can go sailing with me anytime you want to, but you've got to have two good legs to do it.
But my leg won't hinder me in a dory.
No, siree. You get that leg all healed and don't take any chances. You're young and you don't want to have anything happen to cripple you for life. So pick up your cane and go back to being lame until you can't help not being lame.
Just got an order for big fish. The gang in the skinning loft will be glad to hear it. I thought we'd have to lay them off. So, don't hurry away, Billy. I won't be gone long.
Don't forget, I have to shove off and get over to Christensen's before they knock off.
Well, let me ask you. Do you suppose I could have a trick of the wheel sometime in a good stiff breeze?
Why not? Of course you can, Seth.
I wanted to get some experience so that when I'm captain of my own vessel. I can keep her on a straight course. And there'll be no superstitions aboard my boat either. And all the crew will have wings. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Billy.
Poor Seth has no idea what he's getting himself into. He's never even been outside the harbor in his whole life. He'll probably get seasick for 3 weeks steady, and I'll have to hold his hand the whole trip.
I wouldn't worry so much about Seth. He'd be having so much fun, he wouldn't even know it if he were seasick.
Any man who doesn't notice he's seasick has got to be having a hell of a lot of fun.
Charlie, Fred,
Debbie?
I'm glad things are going all right for you.
Thank you, Debbie.
But here you are, talking about going to sea again after barely getting over, almost getting lost on your first trip.
Us 40-fathom sailors don't count it when we're almost lost.
Well, perhaps I should take a trip down to the banks to see what's so fascinating about it.
Debbie, when salt water runs down a fella's neck, he ain't never going to be happy doing any kind of work that sets on a solid bottom. He'll crave the roll of the deck under his feet like a drunkard craves strong drink. And he'll never get over that craving. Now, when a woman falls in love with a seagoing man, she's really in love with him. The job she's tackling ain't an easy one. Maybe it's even harder than going fishing. She has no idea what's going on out there on the banks. And all the while her man is away, she's at home worrying and wondering and waiting. So, before you make up your mind whether you want to marry this seagoing fella, you have to decide if he's worth it. Or do you want to marry a farmer and help him milk the cows and feed the chickens every night? Say, I better take a wreath to my tongue before we all bust out crying. Why don't you two kids get a good bearing and chart your course?
I know all the things he said about a woman marrying a fisherman.
I guess you do. Especially when salt water rolls under his feet.
We have a lot to thank Liz Brewer for.
She's my second best gal. But gosh, Debbie, it was terrible when they thought that I was a jinx. But it was worse when I thought that you wouldn't marry me.
Charlie Fred Munson, whoever said anything about not wanting to marry you? You didn't think I'd let you go and marry an old boat, did you? Now, get over here and kiss me a good smack.
But Debbie, we're in the office.
I wouldn't mind if we were right on Main Street.
Gee, Debbie, you're wonderful.
Of the sea. Oh, Caveman, by shore and by the lea, from the woodlands to the water, just a heartbeat from the sea.
Production crew behind the scenes.
Yes. Yep. First, we have a birthday announcement for Bobby Kerrigan.
We also like to give our thanks to the production staff.
Set design and building coordinators Sally Hatch and Tim Riley.
Costume design by Victoria Fortune and Helen Bigley.
Props Tina Grill and Judy Massiarelli.
Choral director by Christina Martin.
Our choreographer, Deej.
Our musical director, Marcia Groom.
Our stage manager, Aiden McCarthy.
Our production manager, Shauna McCarthy. And of course, our director, Terry Sam.
Actors, we're gonna get shades up, please. Okay, Alright, Warren, you got 20 minutes to get out of costume. Good job and make good shot, please.